Good evening, humans. Tyrannosaurusmoth here, and tonight we're taking a look at the Table Museum SP-110 Winged Victory of Samothrace figure from Figma. I have seen this statue in person. It is magnificent. Is this figure just as magnificent? Well, let's talk about that. Let's do this. Aesthetically speaking, this is a beautiful figure, and first off, hats off to sculptor Tatsuya Ishibashi on just an incredible job. This looks just like the actual sculpture, and that is amazing. I mean, just you can see all the folds in the clothing, and then the details and the wings, just everything pretty much done to perfection here. And you know, this Figma series is one that's interested me for a while, and it's kind of cool to have one in hand because it looks really cool, especially if you've seen the original piece. Not only that, but here at the back of the wings, some beautiful stone texture here at the back of the right wing, and in the back of the left wing, we do have that armature keeping it in place. Which didn't notice in person because you can't really get behind the sculpture, but very cool addition, and just looks great. I mean, not too much to talk about here beyond, again, that magnificent sculpt. And in terms of paint, we just have this stone colored plastic and then a very nice wash that kind of makes it look very realistic. It makes it look like it's real life marble, even though obviously you know it's not, especially seeing all the articulation cuts and stuff like that. But you know, and speaking of which, they're definitely there, and a lot of the Figma figures definitely have that, but you know, I think it's definitely kept to a minimum here, and it's beautifully done. I mean, even when you move pieces, like they made it work, and it's very nice. So I am definitely impressed here. So aesthetics here are absolutely a 10. Not too much to speak of in terms of accessories here. Then again, it is a figure of a statue, so not to be expected. However, what we do get here, right after that, we do get our standard Figma stand, which is very nice, always welcome. Then we get some instructions, and these will tie into the next piece, so you see what you get with the figure itself, and then also some instructions for how to combine it with the Venus de Milo statue figure, which is not currently available, which is kind of sad because now having this in hand, it'd be cool to see those two together and to kind of form those parts together. And speaking of that, in those pictures you just saw, we do get some T-shaped pieces of plastic. These are basically just placeholders for a lot of the peg holes, so we get a couple of extras there. And then you see a bunch here in the replacement upper torso, which also has a kind of more of a neck and, you know, a space for a head to go. So obviously the Venus de Milo head would go in here, and you can replace the actual arms that come with that figure here. And then you can put the wings in here, and you can see the spaces as well. So very cool. It continues that awesome look that we got in the main figure. A little different wash here than what we got on the figure itself. You see it's a little bit darker, and I'm assuming that kind of varies from figure to figure, but definitely not a deal breaker by any means. So that will do it for accessories. Articulation here is very interesting, and really is where this line, I think, kind of kicks things up a notch. And so we got a lot of points here. So looking here, we can see that the wings are articulated. We get some rotation, we get a hinge, and that is both sections of the wings, and they work very nicely. Again, you are going to see those joints, but you know, that's just kind of the nature of the beast here. And things do settle very nicely back into where they're supposed to be. So there's not really any question of what the neutral pose to this is. Then we get the kind of ball hinge here in the upper, the diaphragm. So we can arch back very well. We can arch forward very nicely. We get tons of side to side. So we get some really kind of nice hula hooping action going on there. Then we get to the legs, and this is a whole bunch of stuff. So I'm gonna try and make sure I hit everything, but maybe not. So we come to the hips, and we are hindered a little bit. Oh, I just popped out of that. So you can see that ball socket in there, not unlike a lot of other figures. And let's see if I can pop that back in. I might have to do that off camera. But so you can get out a little bit, not really full splits. It's still coming out here. A lot of the material here is pliable, so that's not really going to be a problem. I guess while I have that out, I'm going to take the chance to show you that we do have another one of those hinge and swivels here at this piece of cloth. We get that at the knee, and this is pretty much true for the other side of the figure as well. Keep that leg down there. So you can see that kind of T joint going on in there inside the hips. And so that allows us to come forward, can fully kick forward there. We also have a knee here, just coming down. I'm dropping stuff everywhere. Here's another piece of cloth. So there's a lot going on and a lot to keep track of. So definitely just be careful of that. And I'm gonna figure out where this goes. That is oh, there we go. There's a peg hole here at the back of the leg. And this does rotate. So there's that. Then we get this other piece. This is the back of the dress. And you can see that joint in there. So that kind of moves around. That is a hinge and swivel, or yeah, swivel, hinge, swivel as well. So you can kind of come all the way around there. And then you get a peg here at the bottom. And that is more or less, oh no, rotation and hinge as well. So a lot of room for movement. A lot of really interesting stuff you can get, as I imagine, especially if you get that Venus de Milo figure. So yeah, just really cool articulation. Getting the size comparisons, here she is with the Figma human anatomical model and the Revoltech Asura, with some Hasbro and some Mattel, with some other imports, with some monsters. Finally, with articulated icons, Oni and yours truly in human form as a Valaverse Action Force figure. So my final thoughts on the Winged Victory of Samothrace figure from Figma is that this is a really cool piece. Honestly, if you have any connection to this statue at all, if you've seen it in person, certainly, and you kind of realize just how like awe-inspiring this is in person, especially the way it's presented at the Louvre, you know, definitely worth picking up and it's a great conversation piece for your desk, and it just looks really cool. It's fun to articulate. You know, the legs get a little iffy, but I mean, even just posing the wings around is really fun. So honestly, if this appeals to you at all, I definitely recommend it. I think there's a lot of people this probably won't appeal to, and in that case, it's just an easy pass. But overall, you know, I definitely think it's really cool. I personally bought this for my wife because this is her favorite statue, and when I saw that it was up for pre-order, I couldn't pass this up. So really cool that I got to get a look at it. So shout out to my wife for letting me review this as well. And yeah, so I definitely recommend it to some, not so much to others. So yeah, very much. If you are interested, it is currently unavailable in a few places, but available in others. So I will put up links to wherever I can find it available at the moment as of me recording this video. And you know, you'll find those in the description below if you are so interested. If it's unavailable by the time this goes up for any reason, then I wish you the best of luck in tracking one of these down. And that being said, I hope you found this review informative and somewhat entertaining. And if you did, I hope to see you back, because I record various reviews of action figures related to tokusatsu, dinosaurs, monsters, pro wrestling, and as you can see, more every week. So come on back, let's talk some more toys, let's have some more fun, let's just escape the world for a while, and most importantly, I hope you are well. I hope that all of your toy dreams come true, and most importantly, I hope that you and yours stay weird, Simians.